Hi all, in this video we are going to look at what recursive CTE is with an example. We will take this use case where we have this organization structure that is captured in the database. As you look at it, it has a high level org structure which has a CEO who has two VP as subordinates, and VP1 has two managers as subordinates, and there is one subordinate for manager 1, and it goes on. This is the table structure and the sample data we are going to use here, and we are going to get the answers for the following questions. Count of managers who have more than one subordinate, average number of subordinates per manager, immediate subordinate for each manager, that is the recursive hierarchy. For questions number 1 and 2, we use CTE, and for the third question, we use a recursive CTE. So what is a CTE? CTE is something like a temporary view which acts as a substitute for subquery, as it provides better readability and also reusability of the coding logic and execution. As we saw in the previous slide, we need the answers for count of managers having more than one subordinate, average number of subordinates per manager. For this, we write the same logic in a subquery and a CTE and compare both. Subquery and CTE provide the same result, but in terms of execution, we see that in the subquery, the same logic is executed twice, once for each metric. But in terms of the CTE, we see that this logic is executed only once, and this result set is being used twice. So this way, this provides reusability as well as better readability. Now we move on to recursive CTE to get the answers for our third question, which is the immediate subordinates for each manager. So recursive CTE is a one that references itself and is used for hierarchical or tree structured data. As you see here, the syntax for recursive CTE contains an anchor member which runs only once, a recursive member which runs repeatedly, and a termination condition. The first part of the query serves as an anchor member or the non-recursive member. Next part serves as the recursive member. And the termination condition in this case is a non-matching record for this join condition. The anchor is executed first and the output is added to the CTE. Recursive part is executed repeatedly and the output is added or appended to the CTE using this union all operator. Execution stops when termination condition is met. Final output contains both output of non-recursive and recursive part. Now let's look at the execution of this CTE in more detail. During the execution, the CTE uses three datasets. For our understanding, we can use the following terminology: working set, which contains the result of previous iteration, which will be input of CTE to the current iteration; result set, which will have the working set output iteratively added to this; and the base table, the table which recursively will get joined to the CTE. Let's look at the steps in detail. First, the anchor member executes, so it is this query. So let's break this down. So this is the query which gets executed first, and the output of this gets stored in the working set as well as the result set. We will go back here. The first time when this runs, this output goes into both the working set as well as this result set. Now the iteration of the recursive part starts. During the first iteration, this is how the dataset looks like. The working set gets joined to the base table. We see just one matching ID and we get employee ID 2 and 3 as join outputs. Now at this point, result set contains 3 records and the working set, which is shown as shaded, has 2 records. because only these two records which are shown as shaded are the output of the recent join execution. Please remember, the working set will contain only the output of the previous iteration, and the result set keeps getting accumulated with all iteration outputs. Now we move on to the next iteration. This working set is joined to the base table and we get two more records, that is employee ID 4 and 5. Now at this point result set contains 5 records and the working set will contain these two records which are shaded. Now the next iteration, again same thing happens, base table gets joined to the working set and we get one record as output of this join, and this is the one, and we move on to the fourth or the final iteration. Here there is no matching record for the join condition and this will serve as a termination condition, and the result set that has been built so far will be the final result set of the CTE and will contain the hierarchy levels 1 to 4. The SQL scripts which were used in the discussion are available in the description link. Hope this video was useful. Thanks everyone.